Hello, my lovely. You didn't get to where you are in your business by doing shit the way that everybody else does. And you know that what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the go to for what you do better than anyone else. Your brilliance is the niche. Being you, that bold, unfuckwithable presence that you've secretly been craving to set free, she is in there. And that means you will have to burn some old bridges down. And attracting your people will also repel those who are not for you. Fucking hooray. Becoming a force of nature business and brand means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your turbo brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you have ever been told to tone it down as a woman with ADHD, it's time to tone your shit all the way the fuck back up. That is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business and visibility that is something you've been avoiding, but that you truly want. This podcast is about stepping into your upgrade, watering down anything, never change the fucking world. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my all-time favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved, at least not anymore. Over 6 weeks, I am sharing the areas of my new Anti-Framework Business Scaling Playbook created for feral as fuck humans like you who are coaches or online service providers. If you are not one of those things, there are still a lot of things in here. If you're brick and mortar or if you are a product-based business, that can absolutely apply to your business. Not all of it will, but some of it can. This is week 4. So if you haven't heard the other episodes yet, go back to the first episode in this series. I believe it's going to be episode 148 and listen through and then come back to this episode so that you have context. It makes a little bit more sense. If you are a rebel and you're like, no, I'm going to listen to this one and I'm not going back. I totally understand. That's how our brains work, but it'll just give you a little bit more context. So go back and listen to them in order, and that will be really helpful. So on March 6th, 2023, at 49 years old, and having been a business owner since I was 24, I was diagnosed with ADHD while running this business. And I had been in the online arena in the digital streets here since 2019, but really decided to go for it in the coaching area and mentorship because I had owned other businesses throughout my lifetime since I was 24, and they were not just coaching business. I had real world experience in running other types of businesses that I built organically from the ground up. This business, though, no matter how hard I tried, I had a difficult time getting it to where I wanted it to be, and I couldn't understand why. So enter my ADHD diagnosis. That was one of the things that changed the way that I am in my business now, the way I run my business now, and everything that you see today. I am going to share the process with you of how I found my signature method. I used to think signature methods were a joke, like how do you even fucking come up with that? But what I realized is when I saw what women with ADHD, late diagnosed especially, needed the most, I realized that those were the things that were going to become the things that not only do I love sharing and teaching and coaching and mentoring on, but these are the things I know that we need besides accountability and guardrails. So these things that I'm sharing here, they lead to more self-trust. Some of them actually do help increase your self-esteem, not only in your business, but outside, because after a lifetime of being treated a certain way and lacking self-trust and lacking self-esteem, one of the best side effects of an ADHD diagnosis, or at least ADHD being on your radar, is heightened self-esteem. And we have been taught that we are less than because of our ADHD traits. They're due to a neurological condition we didn't know that we had. So those feelings, if you still feel them, that shit gets to change now. So, from one force of nature, woman in business like you, turn the volume up to an 11 and let's get feral. Welcome back to the ADHD Entrepreneur, the podcast for feral as fuck ADHD women in business who refuse to play by the fucking rules because rules are made up. My name is Carrie. I'm your host. I'm the head bitch in charge around here. I'm also the chief weirdo of my brand, Carrie Out Loud. If you're new here, welcome. I am so freaking glad you found the podcast. If this episode impacts you or you learned something and you're like, I didn't even know I needed to know that, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a 5-star review and let me know what it was that you learned. Also, subscribe and turn on your notifications because Lord knows we love a good notification and it will tell you when a new episode is ready every Wednesday. When you do all of these things, it helps other women like you find the podcast. Now, usually I do different topics on each episode because our feral fun house of a brain likes to think in trains of thought, and I kind of go in a train of thought kind of way. But right now, I'm doing a series of 6 episodes around the things that I know you as an ADHD human in business need the most. And it is part of that signature process and program that I was telling you about. So let's go ahead and get into it. This week, we're going to talk about something that at first is kind of a little bit of a tweak of a concept to a lot of you. It was for me until it wasn't. Once I heard this and realized this, it totally made sense. Now, you may already know this. This may already be something that you're fully aware of and fully understand, but I want to talk about this in the context of ADHD specifically and through that lens. So here it is. You are the offer. You are the offer. You're the offer. The deliverables, the modules, the Zoom links, the time of day, that's just the packaging. So today we're going to talk about building an offer suite that's dopamine designed. It's designed for your dopamine hits because we need that, or we have novelty-based brains. So I want to make sure that you are creating offers that speak to your brain and that use up some of those ideas that you have in your swirling around your head, that you're able to use them to execute on them for funsies, but also create recurring revenue, because having a stable amount of income coming in each month that you know you are going to be seeing, and creating fun little things that create cash injections that are also fun for your brain and hit on that dopamine is the way to go. And I've looked at it through this lens because we want to have a foundation. We want to have an idea of how we're getting to where we want to go, but we also need things to keep it fun, or as I call it, for funsies. All right. So when I say, let me back up a little bit. When I say you are the offer, here's what I mean. Your coaching style, or your style of how you are a service provider in any way, shape, or form. What are the things that you do within that? How do you do them? What areas do you do them in? That really is your niche, as we say. We talked about it last week about how actually the niche is who you're wanting to work with within what you do. But this is more about you are the offer. The way that you do things is the offer. So what that means is no matter what you call your offer, no matter what you pivot to in an offer, none of that shit matters. Because at the end of the day, the offer is you. The way you do things does not change. For example, I don't care if you are in a $22 offer of mine or a $10,000 offer of mine. I am going to coach you and mentor you the same fucking way. You are going to get high level, I don't give a crap about what level you're at when you're in my ecosystem. I'm going to give you everything I know because that is me. That is the way I roll. That's just my nature. The only thing that changes is how close you are to me, proximity, as in my eyeballs directly on your business, strategizing or coaching or mentoring, whatever words you want to use. That is the difference. How close are my eyeballs to your business? That's it. That's my coaching style. I am all up in it. I am hands-on. I am share screens because sometimes verbal instructions don't mean shit for us. So I want to show you visually. I may pull something up and share my screen. I may give you the right to share your screen with me so you can share it and walk you through something, because I find that when you are looking at something visually and you are attaching it and doing it, it helps lock it in, right? That is the way I do things. That is how I do things with everybody. I have definitely been on calls in a lower ticket offer and somebody has asked a question and I'm like, show me. That's how I roll. Not every coach does that. I'm not saying that's better or worse. I'm saying that is very ADHD focused. I'm making sure that the visuals are there, everything is there, so that it's really implanting itself in your brain, because I understand your brain. Verbal instructions don't do shit for us a lot of times, right? That is my coaching style. That is what I am constantly selling. Period. That's me. I am constantly selling my way of doing things. And when I sell that, it speaks to the person who need that type of guidance, right? So that is really at the root of what I mean when I say you, we are the offer. The deliverables, the when, the who, that all of that jazz. One, a lot of that's on your sales page if you have one for a specific offer. Two, initially, if somebody wants to work with you and they're sold on working with you in a specific program, then they're going to ask you for the details. And of course, then you're going to give them those details. But I'll tell you, like I said in an earlier episode of this series, if somebody wants to get from here to there and you're like, I can help you get from here to there, they don't give a shit what the bridge looks like. If it's 2 calls a month and this and that and the other thing, but they are going to get those results, that is what matters to them. And what matters to you is that you can actually deliver that transformation based on how you have set up that particular offer. So work on making that switch if you haven't made that switch, because a lot of people I see out there are talking about features. And I jokingly said this in a piece of content. I say this to my clients all the time, but nobody is laying in bed at 2 a.m. going, God, I really wish she had a Zoom call at 2 p.m. Pacific time on a Tuesday. No one's thinking that. They're thinking, fuck, how do I fix this fucking problem? How do I fix this system? I can't freaking figure it out for the life of me, right? That's really what they're thinking. And you're going, hey, I know this is the problem you have with that system, and I can get you over here to where that problem with your system doesn't exist anymore. They're like, I don't care what the bridge looks like. They might care for scheduling possibly, but that's really it. And most likely, if they're doing business full time, scheduling isn't going to be an issue. So you are the offer. You, your style, the way you do shit, you, so that you can have all different kinds of offers and all different kinds of things and different little add-ons and different little fun things, but it's all based in what you do and how you do it the best. Because getting paid to do what you love, that is some chef's fucking kiss right there. I promise you. So let me talk about the 3 different things you want to have in your offer suite. If you don't have an offer suite yet, or you don't call it that or whatever, you have a series of offers, I'm going to highly encourage you to design it this way, because it's going to create foundational revenue that's going to come in every single month. It's going to create cash infusion, or what I call for funsies, and it's going to create visibility igniters. And I'm going to go over what those are. all of these are things that possibly you have heard of, but I'm going to put this together in a way where it's like your brain's going to go, oh, okay, that makes sense why I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, and I'm going to have this. Okay. So you have your foundational offers. That's the foundational fuel. That's your recurring revenue. That is your nervous system regulator. Those are your main offers where the recurring revenue and stability lives. Do you want to understand what recurring revenue is? It is this simple: having a payment plan. Some people like to have a big chunk all at one time when it comes to income. Yes, of course, you can offer paid in full at a slightly lower rate if somebody wants to do that. Usually it's around 10%. That is not a requirement, but you can do a paid in full option at a little bit slightly lower rate because they're committing to you for a certain amount of time. Can you hear the ducks? It's in case I'm in Southern California, and it's what I call duck humping season, because here, to take a break for how ADHD of me. Oh, look, a chicken. It is the time of year. I live in the place that has like a nature preserve here, and it is the time of year where all the babies come around and the geese are honking and the ducks are quacking and little babies walk across my patio. So that's what you heard. If you didn't hear it and you're like, what the hell is she talking about? Then my microphone filtered out the background noise and did what it's supposed to be doing. All right, let me get back to the topic. So those foundational fuel offers, those nervous system regulators, that is a payment plan. And here's what I will tell you. Sometimes people have a fear over the fact that, oh, a payment plan, what if they default at a higher level, higher ticket price point? It is a much lower opportunity. It's a much lower likelihood that people default. Very low. So rest assured that although it may happen from time to time and you have a contract, that's how that gets handled. Recurring revenue and having your offers being something people pay for monthly will help you fucking regulate your nervous system. And but you can see each month what you know is going to be coming in without a second thought. How amazing would it feel to know you have $25K coming in every month before you step into the month? You want to talk about calm as fuck? You want to talk about a nervous system regulator? That's your homie right there. Those are your foundational fuel offers. Those are the offers that are group coaching or a mastermind that's a lower level and a mastermind that's a higher level. That is memberships with and these are all have a certain amount of commitment time. Now, one of the things I know is that with ADHD, sometimes we're like, well, what if I fucking do this? People are in for 6 months and I hate this offer. Well, definitely start off more around like the 3-month mark for a commitment time frame. And that way, if you hate it or you want to tweak it, you get to do that and still are bringing in new clients with those tweaks. Do you see what I'm saying here? So once that few months has gone by, you're going to know, okay, I'm in love with it. I need to tweak it. I need to take this out. I want to add this in. Your clients understand. As long as you're not taking value away from them, you're good to go. So having that longer term commitment may feel like, whoa, but I prefer personally 6 to 12 months. Why? Because I know how much deeper and better I can mentor you and coach you over a longer period of time to actually get you to where you want to go. Guardrails and accountability get us towards our vision, period, when it comes to ADHD. Full stop. Okay. Let's talk about 4 funsies offers, also known as cash infusions. You may have heard that term. Novelty dopamine hits that keep your brain lit up. This is where your brain gets to play with all of the fun ideas in your head. This is where if you had an idea for a little mini mind, or you had an idea for a masterclass, or you had an idea for something a challenge or something that you felt would be really fun, you have your foundational offers. Once you've built that foundation, which is really the first part of, if you are working on burning shit down in your business that doesn't work anymore and rebuilding the things that will, having those foundational offers first and really getting those set up is going to be the key. And once you have that rolling and you have a certain baseline level of income coming in, then you're going to introduce these for funsies offers. If you've been around a little while, you probably already have a foundation of maybe some retainers or clients who work with you monthly, et cetera. So you will work on tweaking those to make those more of those recurring revenue offers. And then you come to these cash infusions. But there's another for Funsie that I'm going to talk about next that you can also use for novelty while you're building those foundational revenue builders. So your brain gets to play with the cash infusions. That's where you get to keep that dopamine coming in, that fun. And if you want, you can launch the shit out of those. Because if you already have $25,000 of income coming in, that offer, that for funsie offer, that thing you're launching, the pressure of launching that is gone. You get to just do it because it feels good and it's fun. And guess what happens? Your people are like, ooh, this feels good. This feels fun. I want in. Especially your culty followers, the ones who are like your Apple people who are like, I have to have everything she does, that will wait in line around the block for you virtually, right? So then those cash infusions become fun. They're low pressure. And then you just get to do them and deliver them and enjoy them as opposed to being like, I have to have this. I have to have this. You get out of that nervous system dysregulation. Next, last, visibility igniters. You may know these as freebies, free resources, whatever. These can be low cost or free. And this is a way for your clients to get a taste of your energy. This could be I've seen people do a free Telegram or a low cost Telegram channel where they just drop in little fun notes on specific topics for their clients. That gives them a taste of who you are. Mine are, I have a 3-day audit for clients to check out boundaries, capacity, and simplicity in their business. And it's an email series. You get a video, you see my cute little face, you get to know me a little bit better. And then that leads to some sort of lower ticket offer if you choose you want to get my eyeballs onto your business, right? These are also, frankly, similar to a clarity call because I love clarity calls. I do them for higher ticket offers because if I'm going to be spending deep time with somebody one-on-one or in a very small group, I want to make sure they fit with the group. I want to make sure that you and I are a fit and that we vibe, because getting put into a commitment with somebody you do not like or vibe with because you didn't take the time to have a chat with them sucks for everybody. And you don't need that. You definitely don't need that. There are so many people in the industry doing things. There is somebody that's going to be a better fit for them. It's totally okay to do that, right? But this really gives a taste of that. And here is where you get to play with more of those ideas in your brain. The dopamine. You get you get to take those ideas and make them into some sort of a resource. Make them into something that people get at a low cost or free. And they really get a taste of you. That is more novelty. Notice it's 2/3 novelty, 1/3 nervous system regulation. The highest amount of your cash is definitely going to come from your foundational offers, but it takes so much pressure off of you when it comes to your offers that you're doing for funsies. If you love launching, like you love that dopamine hit of showing up every day and talking about that and doing that, awesome. If you don't like that at all, you can not do that whatsoever. You can have different kind of cash infusion, or you can do those visibility igniters, which those freebies, whatever, and have that set up. And that's going to keep that novelty happening for you. Now, one of the things that I want to point out is that there are low, medium, and high ticket humans. I tend to work with more middle to high ticket. There are some people whose business model is more low ticket and hands off. That is a whole different thing. That is usually for somebody with a massive audience who's just looking to sell in mass with automation. And that's a whole different way of doing business. It is absolutely something you can do as well. And it's something that you can have recurring revenue, but that's just a slightly different animal. What I'm talking about here is if you are more in close proximity with people. And this is a fantastic way to keep that dopamine high, that reward high, making sure you make the impact that you want to make. And this is your recurring revenue ecosystem. It builds stable and fun. It builds stability into your business, it builds fun into your business, and it grows your business. I may say this every few episodes, and I'm going to keep saying it because it's really fucking important. Pricing is not based on your self-worth or inherent value. So when I'm talking about low ticket, medium ticket, high ticket, there's different ways to go. Everybody has different pricing morals. Some people want to be lower ticket because they want to give access in a specific way to a certain group of human beings. Other people want to be more middle of the road because that feels good to them. They have a medium sized audience. They don't need a lot of necessarily new people. And then you have high ticket. And with high ticket, you don't need a huge audience at all to make a huge income and impact on those people. And you get to feel more chill and relaxed. So looking at your pricing values is definitely important. But what I'm talking about here is your inherent self-worth. We hear often in our industry, price what you're worth, price what you're worth, price what you're worth. Fuck that. You're not worth a dollar bill. You have inherent worth. It's already inside of you. Your worth has nothing to do with money at all. That part comes from within. Your pricing, however, that is based on the transformation you provide, your personal lived experiences. It has to do with your expertise, your specialty. And I will point this out. I think I spoke about this in one of the other episodes, but I have a couple of clients, one who'd been doing something similar to what she created her business around for 10 years in the corporate world. Another friend, a client as well, who she had been doing what she did for 6 years, not in the online world, but felt like she was brand new. Another client of mine, 17 years of history of doing something similar to what she does. That is a shit ton of expertise and still not pricing for her expertise. But each one of these people also has to look at their pricing values and make sure the way that they're pricing their offers is to grab or get the attention of the people that are the type of people they want to work with, right? The niche of the human, the type of human. So I just want to remind you that all of that experience counts, your expertise counts. And I will repeat this as well. If you have studied or worked on your craft 18 minutes a day over the last year, you know, 90% more than the people around you. You may discount your expertise and think everybody knows what you know, but no, they don't. They don't. That's why they are looking for you. They are out there looking for you. And when you're doing organic marketing and when you're doing marketing that is pulling in or the tractor beam of those people who find you and they want to know more about you, they're already looking for you. You're not trying to sell them on jack shit. They're already looking for you. So when they're coming into your DMs and they're chatting with you and you're having sales conversations, don't feel yucky or gross about it because they are there because they are looking for what you do. So that final reminder is that the things you find simple are the bane of somebody else's existence and they don't have a clue how to do it. There are things that Brooke, my behind the scenes maven, does for me that I would rather poke my eye out with a hot stick and would take me 4 days. She'll do it in 30 minutes and I'm like, gosh, dang it. How the fuck do you do that? Because that's her specialty. That's her expertise. That's why. Why would I spend 4 days of my time or hours of my time that's worth thousands of dollars when I can outsource something that's like a one-time thing to somebody, or that I can give to somebody who fucking loves to do it? It will cost me so much less money because I'm not wasting all of those hours of my time, which is thousands of dollars. I am investing with somebody who knows exactly what they're doing and paying them what their expertise is, and making sure that I have done what I need to have done without feeling like I want to pull my hair out. It's so much better that way, by the way. So just because it comes natural to you does not mean to price it like it's a discount bin item. You're a specialist. You're allowed to be paid as such. Full stop. Period. End of story. You know what the fuck you're doing. Please don't allow your pricing to pretend like you don't. Please don't price it in a way where that pricing is indicating that you don't. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. I hope this doesn't feel like a lecture. It's just because I fucking love you and I care about you and I want you to think about this, because this is something that not a lot of us think about. I have so many clients, and when I ask them that question about how many years they had doing something similar in corporate or in a different arena, and they have all of these years, and they're like, but I feel new. It's like, no, you feel new on social media maybe in some ways, but you are not new by a long shot, by any stretch of the imagination. So tweak that mindset. ASAP. It will help you price your offers based on the transformation. If you are helping somebody bring in $100,000 more in revenue because you've helped them automate something and it's taken that pressure off their back, or if you've been a coach to them, that is not a $500 a month offer. Sorry, it's just not. That's $500,000 over 5 years more revenue for that business owner. Act like it. Act like what you're doing makes that kind of impact, because you know it does. You've seen it over and over and over again with your clients. So here are the things I want to send you away with today. So let's talk about recurring revenue. I want you to take a look at your offers that you currently have. Probably the one you love the most. One of your offers that could become a foundational offer that creates recurring revenue. How could you tweak it to become more of a one to many? So not necessarily a mastermind type thing where it's like one to a few, right? What can you take that you have that can be more of a one to many that has a certain amount of time commitment to it? Take a look at your offers. And if it doesn't exist, talk to me. Get into a one-on-one VIP sesh with me. Let's map it out. I absolutely can help you do that. We can take a look at the offers that you have. And if you like one in particular, we can take a look at it and see how to make it into something that has more of that recurring revenue. And I want you to know, just because coaching is one-on-one doesn't mean it's more effective. If somebody's in a sprint and they need super intense, hyper-focused attention on them, one-on-one is a great option, but it is not the only way to coach people that is effective. And if you're a service provider, having a retainer where you get to have that retainer for a longer period of time, that is something that is monthly recurring revenue. Understanding, however, what your capacity is super important. And what capacity is how many people can you have within each offer in a way that's going to make you feel like you have a regulated nervous system. It's a foundational fuel offer. What is something that you can do in that? And if you need ideas for that, let's chat about it. I work with service providers in many different businesses, so I have all kinds of ideas for you. Number 2, what is something fun you could whip up? A novelty offer, something that hits you in the dopamine. A couple of examples: a 24-hour pop-up in your stories, 2 one-on-ones, VIP sesh, good for 24 hours. Grab it while it's hot. That's fun. Ooh, somebody going to grab it? That'd be fun, right? a masterclass, something that you've been really wanting to share with other people, with your clients, or with people who you could bring into your ecosystem, deliver the shit out of it, by the way. A mini mind, which is a maybe 4 to 6 week, very, very focused on one specific outcome that you know your people want the most. It could be anything. Make it fun. Kick you in the dopamine. And it's something that's shorter term so that you still have that foundation that you're focusing on, but you also have those fun little offers. And FYI, those fun little offers sometimes lead to people wanting your eyes on their stuff in closer proximity. So it actually serves multiple purposes. It kicks you in the dopamine and shows people your style, and they may want to go deeper with you or have your eyeballs on them and their business. And then the last one is, what is one visibility avenue that you could double down on this month to grow your email list or your newsletter? Because you don't own your Instagram, but you own your newsletter. And it is a way to take people out of the busy fucking city of Instagram and get their eyes directly on you. Because having an email, as much as some people think, oh, email marketing doesn't work. Yes, it does. And even if they are not opening your emails, but they're not unsubscribing, they're seeing your name in their inbox over and over and over again, that counts. Because then when they have a need that you are tied to, and your name has been in their inbox for 4 months straight, every week for 4 months, you're top of mind. Not all the people out in Instagram land, but the people that are seeing you directly in their inbox. That's one of the things that's really cool about having a newsletter or having some form of email marketing that you do on the regular basis. So what is a visibility freebie? Mini podcast episodes on a specific topic, video series, an email challenge. I have all different types of ideas. I have an entire list of these ideas going into this program when it's fully created. So this is how to create an offer suite in a way that your brain loves, because it keeps it new, but it also gives you that stability. I hope that was exciting to you because when I really put this together in a way to speak to our brain wiring, it made so much sense to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known this sooner. So I hope if this wasn't on your radar, that it's nice and soon for you so that you can now start to figure out how you want to make that happen. And if you have questions about that, you can always reach out to me and we can chat. We can jump on a clarity call. I can put you into the Neurospicy Sisterhood. There's all different kinds of ways I can help you with that. So feel free to reach out to me. And with that, I am going to end today's episode. If you love the episode, please subscribe, give it a 5-star review, send this episode to a friend, send me a note by carrier pigeon, shoot me a DM. We're all just people here owning businesses. Just because I have a microphone in front of my face doesn't mean jack shit. It just means that I have enough balls to hit record every single week. That's it. And I love hearing from you. I love hearing from those people who are listening and what you get out of the podcast. So until next week, I see you. I love you. I'm fucking rooting for you always. And of course, stay feral. Bye. Oh, hey, you're still here. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the ways to follow me. And of course, my goal is to find and help as many women with ADHD get away from the 9-to-5 grind, because it's just not designed for our neurospicy brilliance, and there are other ways to do life. So by subscribing, sharing, and giving a 5-star review, it helps other women find this podcast as well. And if there's an episode you really love, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social and tag me in it so that I can thank you personally. Until next time, you spicy brained unicorn. Bye.